Hey everyone, welcome back to Open Verse Plus. It's always great to have you here. If you've been enjoying our journey through Renegade Immortal, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the story with others who love this world as much as we do. Your support really keeps our team inspired to bring you more chapters, week after week. Now then, let's dive back into the story. In the previous episode, Wang Lin uncovered the shadowy presence of a cultivator named Greed, whose power had already surpassed the ascendant stage. Through Haiju's soul, Wang Lin learned that this mysterious figure might even be one of Situ Nan's old enemies, someone with knowledge of the heaven-defying bead, the artifact that had been bound to Wang Lin's very soul for over 700 years. As the great war between the Fire Demon Country and the Sky Demon Country raged on, Wang Lin took command from the shadows, sending tens of thousands of his soul-refining tribe members to harvest slaughter energy. For decades, he cultivated in seclusion, preparing his strength and imprinting his will upon the scattered devil within him. Now, 10 years later, inside his Tower of Silence, Wang Lin once again confronts Yao Shishui, the woman who has been his captive for more than 20 years, to pry open the secrets she still hides. The story continues. Wang Lin continues his interrogation of Yao Shishui, who has been imprisoned by him inside the tower for more than 20 years. Over that time, her hatred toward him has turned into deep fear, for she has already experienced the terrifying precision of Wang Lin's methods. When she first revealed how to use the blood soul pill, Wang Lin exploited the small weakness in her mind, opening a gap that allowed him to dig into her secrets little by little. Though she has tried to resist, she has already confessed more than she ever intended to. Now, Wang Lin presses her again. He calmly asks how she learned that the caves they once explored were left behind by a celestial emperor, and how she knew there were 4 in total. Yao Shishui refuses to answer at first, but Wang Lin's tone turns cold. He reminds her that she has been his prisoner for over 2 decades, and offers her a deal. If she tells him everything, he will release her after they leave the demon spirit land. His voice carries a trace of demonic influence, a subtle charm he learned during the 10 years he spent studying the scattered devil's mark. Yao Shishui, exhausted and fearful, hesitates. She demands that Wang Lin swear upon his Tao heart that he will keep his word. But Wang Lin dismisses her demand, saying she has no right to make conditions. She has one chance to speak, or be sealed forever. Finally, Yao Shishui gives in. She begins by revealing something that shocks Wang Lin. Her father, the blood ancestor, had once warned her never to oppose Wang Lin. Back then, she could not understand why. After all, Wang Lin had been nothing more than a low-level cultivator. Even if he was the All-Seer's disciple, her father's caution made no sense at the time. But now she realizes that he must have seen something in Wang Lin that she had not. When Wang Lin demands more details, Yao Shishui explains that her father had told her there were 4 caves left behind by a celestial emperor, and that he, along with the All-Seer, Ling Tianao, and others, had discovered an incredible secret when they came to the demon spirit land long ago. The entire demon spirit land itself, she says, is actually a massive cave, one of 5 in total. 4 are fake, and 1 is real. Wang Lin quickly understands that the cave she once brought him to was one of the fakes. Yao Shishui confirms this, saying that even the fake caves contained great treasures and spirit liquids capable of advancing one's cultivation. But Wang Lin senses that she's still hiding something. When he presses her harder, she finally admits that the 4 fake caves are not just decoys, they are, in fact, the gates to the true cave. Still, Wang Lin is unconvinced that this is all. His voice turns sharp. The secret your father found can't be this simple. Yao Shishui sighs. After a pause, she reveals the true depth of the matter. According to her father, the final cave, the real one, was once the cultivation place of the most powerful being in the celestial realm, Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. Her words cause a wave of shock within Wang Lin, though his expression barely changes. Yao Shishui continues, explaining that Qing Lin was the supreme ruler of the celestial realm, said to have survived the great collapse of that realm ages ago. He disappeared afterward, gravely wounded, but his aura is said to linger, sealed in deep meditation within that final cave. Hearing this, Wang Lin's mind stirs violently. He recalls a mysterious voice he once heard when exploring the cave with Yao Shishui, a voice that had said, "I am Qing Lin." This connection now feels undeniable. Piecing everything together, Wang Lin begins to suspect a greater design behind the demon spirit land, one that involves not just ancient demons and devils, but perhaps even remnants of the celestial realm itself. He then asks Yao Shishui how the 4 fake caves were divided in the past. She replies that the all-seer, Ling Tianao, and the cloud celestial couple each took 1 cave, while her father, the blood ancestor, lacked the strength to compete and discovered a separate cave later by chance. Because of this, everyone else still believes there are only 4 caves, 3 fake and 1 real, while her father alone knows there are actually 5. This new name, the Cloud Celestial Couple, catches Wang Lin's attention. Yao Shishui explains that they were once a famous pair of cultivators who chose to remain in their cave for cultivation. Rarely seen since, her tone grows wistful, filled with a faint envy as she recalls hearing their story long ago, when she still believed in love and dreams. Wang Lin's gaze sharpens. He then deduces something that makes Yao Shishui's heart tremble. "Your father," he says slowly, "must be coming here soon." Yao Shishui pretends not to understand, but Wang Lin's reasoning is relentless. He explains that for tens of thousands of years, the demon spirit land has opened countless times. Someone like the blood ancestor, who can prolong his life indefinitely, would not risk entering now unless the time and purpose were critical. Therefore, her presence here must be preparation for her father's arrival. Cornered, Yao Shishui finally admits the truth. Not only her father, but also the all-seer, Ling Tianao, and other ancient powers from planet Tianyun are all planning to return to the demon spirit land. When Wang Lin mentions the golden token that appeared during the tide, Yao Shishui is visibly shaken. That token, she reveals, is known as Qing Lin's celestial token, the key required to open the door from a fake cave into the real one. Yet, she explains, the true cave can only be opened when all 4 tokens are used simultaneously. Without all 4, no one can enter. From this, Wang Lin quickly deduces the blood ancestor's scheme. The blood ancestor, knowing the others believe only 3 tokens are needed, holds the advantage, even without a token of his own. Control over one of the fake caves gives him the power to dictate when and how the real cave will open. Finally, Wang Lin asks where the token would appear after being drawn into the demon spirit land. Yao Shishui answers softly, the tidal abyss, whose entrance lies within the fire demon country. Having learned enough, Wang Lin silently reseals Yao Shishui and places her back into his bag of holding. Alone in the tower once more, his eyes glimmer with a demonic light. He murmurs to himself, "So this is the true secret of the demon spirit land. These old monsters are all drawn here by the legacy of Celestial Emperor Qing Lin. My cultivation is still far too low compared to theirs. But why did the all-seer insist that I come here?" Wang Lin sat in silent contemplation, his eyes deep with thought. The longer he remained within the demon spirit land, the more he felt an unseen mystery enveloping him. Everything about this place was strange, from the painting of Wanlong to the 2 identical Mo Feis, and even the towering man who looked remarkably like Ling Tianao. None of it made sense. He muttered to himself, "The all-seer seeks to grasp the will of the heavens. For him to insist that I come here, there must be a reason hidden behind it." He remembered what Bai Wei had once told him on planet Tianyun, that many of the all-seer's disciples over 10,000 years old had mysteriously disappeared. Now, he began to wonder if all of that was somehow connected to this demon spirit land. But Wang Lin's thoughts soon grew cold and determined. "As long as I am strong enough," he thought, "no matter how strange this place is, nothing can shake my Tao heart." He closed his eyes and sank into cultivation once more. His origin soul continued engraving its imprint deeper into the scattered devil, strengthening his control over the demonic being trapped within. 10 years had passed in this secluded cultivation, and during that time, Wang Lin's soul-refining tribe had flourished. Across the land, new disciples practiced the soul-refining spell with fervor. The ancient battleground they lived upon was rich with soul fragments buried beneath the earth. As they dug great holes to cultivate, each pit became a unique place of training, echoing with the wails of lingering souls. Others ventured to the fire demon country, absorbing the souls of fallen demon soldiers, a privilege reserved only for the most advanced cultivators. The tribe was expanding like a living organism, growing stronger each year. What had started as a fragile shell was now a cocoon, nurturing power that would one day astonish the entire demon spirit land. At the center of it all stood the tall black tower, the sacred heart of the tribe. No one dared to defile it, for it was said that their god, their ancestor, lived within. That ancestor was Wang Lin, who had not emerged for 10 years. In that time, he had not only strengthened his imprint on the scattered devil, but also perfected thousands of restriction techniques. His mastery had grown to the point where he had nearly completed 9.999 sets of restrictions, a near divine level of control. Above the tribe, his 1 billion soul flag hung in the skies like a shroud. The cries of the trapped souls echoed day and night, a haunting symbol of the tribe's might and identity. But Wang Lin's focus was on another matter, the god-slaying war chariot. Years ago, when his cultivation was at the mid-stage of soul transformation, he could barely release its first seal. Now, as an ascendant cultivator, he could wield that first seal freely. Yet it wasn't enough. His gaze was now fixed upon the second seal. He had long studied the chariot's 5 seals, each holding immense power. When he probed the second one with his divine sense, arcs of lightning lashed out and chased his consciousness, forcing him to retreat and erase the lightning using celestial energy. From this, he understood that the second seal imprisoned the beast's lightning power, a power far greater than he had imagined. Wang Lin's interest grew. He remembered the terrifying storm spell used by the old man beneath the black tower, the spell of wind, rain, thunder, and lightning. The black lightning in that spell had left an unforgettable impression on him. Now, if he could unlock the beast's lightning power, he might one day rival even that level of destruction. But there was a problem. Once the second seal was opened, the beast trap, the artifact that allowed him to control the chariot's spirit beast, would collapse under the creature's unleashed strength. The trap, a bracelet given to him long ago by an ancient cultivator under 2C, had served him well. Without it, he would have never been able to wield the chariot at his lower cultivation level. Yet now, its limits had been reached. After a long moment of thought, Wang Lin made his decision. His eyes flashed with resolve as he summoned the beast trap and left the tower. Appearing 5,000 kilometers away on a desolate plain, the wind howled across the barren land as he dropped the bracelet onto the ground and formed a hand seal. The bracelet flared with black light and transformed into the god-slaying war chariot, a massive, thorn-covered war machine emanating ancient power. From within, the imprisoned spirit beast emerged. It was colossal, nearly 1,000 feet tall, its red eyes glowing with fury as it stared at Wang Lin. With an ear-splitting roar, it charged forward like a mountain in motion, tearing through the air. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He raised his right hand and pressed down. Instantly, an invisible force slammed the beast to the ground, flattening it with thunderous impact. The earth quaked and dust exploded outward in a vast ring. The spirit beast bellowed, its body straining against the invisible pressure. Its unyielding will erupted like a storm. But Wang Lin's power had already surpassed what he once was. Where once he could barely restrain this creature, now he could suppress it effortlessly. Holding it down from afar, he bit the tip of his tongue and began to draw a blood symbol in the air, one of 7 markings created by the original maker of the god-slaying war chariot. When all 7 were completed, the chariot would fully acknowledge its master. When the sigil was finished, he flicked his finger and sent the blood symbol flying. It pierced through the air and landed between the beast's eyebrows. The creature convulsed in agony, its roar echoing across the plain. Wang Lin released his grip, allowing it to move freely. The moment it regained control, the beast's crimson eyes blazed with rage. It charged at him again, roaring defiantly. First seal, open, Wang Lin shouted, sending a surge of black light into the creature. Power erupted from within its body. The spirit beast stood tall and lunged once more, jaws wide enough to swallow the world. Wang Lin waved his hand, and a gust of wind turned into a massive palm that struck the beast's face. A deafening crack resounded as its jaw shattered. The beast staggered back, dissolving into clouds of black gas that rushed toward Wang Lin like a violent storm. His hands danced through the air, forming two more blood symbols. The black mist flooded into his body, assaulting his origin soul, but Wang Lin only sneered. A golden light flashed in his eyes. Origin soul, leave, he commanded. His origin soul separated from his body, grabbing the beast by the neck as the two blood symbols pressed against its forehead. The beast screamed and, with a surge of power, broke free once more, its aura now fiercer than ever. Wang Lin's origin soul returned to his body. His eyes opened slowly, glowing with cold determination as he stared at the wild, thunderous beast before him. The second seal was nearly ready, but not yet fully tamed. Far away, at the border between the Fire Demon Country and the Golden Demon Country, within a fog-shrouded mountain range, a black shadow knelt before a mysterious white castle hidden in the miasma. "Ancestor," the shadow said respectfully, "I have found the location of Wang Lin. He disappeared from the Sky Demon Country 20 years ago." From within the castle came a chilling voice. "What is his cultivation level?" The kneeling figure hesitated. "This subordinate does not know. The team sent to capture him was destroyed, but we have learned that he was appointed as the Ancient Demon's Messenger." Ancient Demon's Messenger, HMPH. The voice chuckled coldly. "Someone who caught that old monster's eye must be extraordinary indeed. Dispatch 3 units and a celestial guard. Capture him alive." As the shadow vanished into the mist, the eerie voice echoed once more from the depths of the castle. "If trained properly, this Wang Lin could become another celestial guard for me. No matter how powerful he has become, as long as he has not reached the ascendant stage, he cannot escape." Wang Lin's gaze was fixed firmly on the spirit beast before him. After he engraved the third blood symbol into its forehead, the aura that erupted from the creature was so fierce that even he felt a trace of fear. The beast's enormous body trembled violently, and the crimson light within its eyes burned brighter, spilling out in shimmering waves that extended several inches from its sockets, bathing the ground in a blood-red glow. Though Wang Lin appeared calm, his thoughts were sharp and focused. He remembered the jade slip that contained the creator's notes about the god-slaying war chariot, every seal, every risk. The power of this ancient chariot came not from the metal itself, but from the spirit beast that served as its core. Each of the 7 origin soul blood seals stimulated the beast's evolution, and releasing each one too early or too late could destroy it completely. Timing was everything. The original maker of the chariot had planned for each to be awakened perfectly. Their seals released under the hand of someone at the level of a celestial emperor. Only then could the chariots live up to their name, God-slaying. But that grand plan had never been realized. Now, standing on the barren plains, Wang Lin could feel the power within the beast growing wilder with every breath. The very air began to shift. The wind stopped as if afraid to draw near. The once clear sky turned dim and heavy, and even the grains of sand trembled under the pressure of the beast's awakening. The creature's aura surged rapidly, surpassing the level of an early ascendant cultivator and climbing toward mid-stage ascendant strength. Its 1,000-foot body began to shrink, condensing into a more compact but far denser form. As it did, the red light from its eyes grew to 7 feet long, surrounded by a faint, misty halo. Wang Lin narrowed his eyes. He knew the critical moment was approaching. Forming a complex hand seal, he summoned a black light that flickered in his palm. Just then, the beast's aura suddenly spiked, a frenzied surge of destruction building within it like a storm about to burst. Without hesitation, Wang Lin thrust his hand forward. Second seal, open. The black light shot from his palm, striking the beast just as its power reached its breaking point. In an instant, the energy that threatened to explode stabilized. The beast froze, then threw back its head and released an earth-shaking roar that rolled across the plains like thunder. From the heavens, real thunder answered. Bolts of lightning cascaded down in dazzling chains, one after another, striking the beast's body. But this was not divine retribution, it was the creature's own lightning. Born from within. As the lightning struck, it didn't harm the beast. Instead, it enveloped it in a cocoon of pure electricity. Within that sphere of light, its form began to change. The once monstrous creature condensed and refined itself until it resembled something between a dragon and a qilin, its body sleek, its scales flashing silver, and from its forehead, a single silver horn emerged, forged entirely of lightning. Wang Lin's heart stirred as he watched. According to the Jade records, if the seal was perfectly released, the beast should evolve a golden horn, a mark of flawless power. Yet this one was silver, a sign that the evolution was successful but imperfect. He sighed quietly but moved without delay. He raised his hand again, tracing intricate symbols in the air until a new blood sigil formed at his fingertips. Timing was crucial. The Jade's instructions had been clear. The precise moment when the beast's transformation completed was the only time an imprint could be set that would bind it to its master forever. Ignoring the raging lightning, Wang Lin charged forward, his robes whipping around him in the storm. The blood symbol in his hand pulsed as he pressed it firmly against the thunderbeast's brow. A burst of golden light flickered for an instant, just a flash, then vanished. Wang Lin blinked, uncertain if what he saw was real. But the result was clear. The beast's wild hostility faded. It gazed at him one last time, no longer an enemy, though not yet a companion, before dissolving into light and merging back into the god-slaying war chariot. Wang Lin reached out, returning the chariot into his bag of holding. His eyes reflected a quiet confidence. Even though the horn was silver, this thunder beast was strong enough to stand against any mid-stage ascendant cultivator. With it, and his current strength, he could finally fight on even ground with many powerful foes, and perhaps, under the right conditions, kill them. But the late-stage ascendants, beings like Zuxi and that black-robed elder, were still far beyond him. Even with all his treasures, he would need to rely on Ling Tianou's sword energy if he was ever forced to face them. Returning to the tower, Wang Lin sat cross-legged in silent contemplation. His mind churned with calculation. How much power would it take to truly overcome a late ascendant? Even with his 1 billion soul flag, the underworld river, and the thunder beast, could he prevail? The answer, for now, was uncertain. He exhaled slowly and took out 3 swords, the remnants of enemies he had slain: Mo Yang, Zi Shu, and Hai Zhu. Each blade hummed faintly, still carrying traces of their former master's souls. Wang Lin spat a mist of green origin energy over them, beginning the long process of refinement. 3 months passed in silence. Then, far away, 50,000 kilometers from the soul refining tribe, several figures streaked across the sky. At their head was a man in golden robes, glowing faintly with celestial power. Beside him, a white-robed youth followed nervously, Sun Yunshan, the young master of the Zan Yuan sect, who had once entered the demon spirit land with Wang Lin. Behind them came others, including a silent man cloaked in black, whose aura blended perfectly with the heavens. His cultivation was terrifying, early ascendant, though strangely devoid of origin energy. As they approached, the golden-robed man ordered coldly, "Capture Wang Lin alive." Back inside his tower, Wang Lin's eyes suddenly opened, flashing with a sharp, dangerous light. He spoke softly, yet his voice carried command. 13, he said, "We have guests. Bring them here." The cultivators of the Cultivation Union arrived at the borders of the soul refining tribe, where they were immediately halted by an enormous, black cloud covering the skies. The cloud was thick and ominous, so dense that even divine senses could not penetrate it. Any attempt to probe inside was met with resistance, and the cloud seemed to devour spiritual energy itself. From within came piercing, ghostly wails that made even hardened cultivators tremble. The man in gold, the leader of the Cultivation Union group, looked upon the dark barrier and scoffed. He believed it to be nothing more than a bluff, a weak illusion meant to scare them. Behind him stood nearly 20 cultivators, most in the early stage of soul transformation, a few in the mid-stage, and one in the late stage. Among them was Sun Yunshan, his eyes filled with unease, and his martial uncle Feng, who had been turned into a puppet by a celestial seed implanted by their ancestor. With arrogance, the man in gold ordered one of his subordinates forward. Number 10. Go and break this cloud for me. The cultivator hesitated, sensing the danger that emanated from the mist. But under the threat of his commander's fury, he obeyed. As he approached, the oppressive force became unbearable. 10,000 feet from the edge, the air itself seemed to crush his origin soul. He knew that pressing onward meant certain death, but the command had been given. Resolving himself to die, the cultivator charged ahead, but before he could close the distance, the black cloud began to churn like a storm-tossed ocean. Waves of dark mist surged outward, forming massive, rolling shapes. The ghostly wails grew louder, merging into an ear-splitting roar. Then, with a terrifying motion, the cloud transformed into a colossal mouth that devoured the charging cultivator whole. In an instant, he was gone, his body, his soul, his very existence erased. The entire Cultivation Union party froze in horror. Even from afar, they could feel the pull of the devouring force. Sweat poured down their backs as they realized the black cloud was far from a simple trick. The man in gold's face darkened. His pride refused to let him retreat. He turned to the gray-haired old man standing nearby, Sun Yunshan's martial Uncle Feng, and barked another order. Number 3. Go. The old man's eyes were blank, his mind enslaved, and he stepped forward without hesitation. Sun Yunshan's fists clenched in silent anguish as his uncle disappeared into the mist. But before the old man could advance any farther, the black cloud suddenly shifted. It rolled open down the center, creating a long, narrow path. Out of the darkness stepped a cold-faced young man, 13. He looked at the Cultivation Union forces with emotionless eyes and said calmly, "My ancestor welcomes everyone." The man in gold sneered and immediately ordered, "Number 3, kill him. We'll enter through this path." The old man charged toward 13. But before he could attack, a tendril of black mist reached out like a living serpent. It wrapped around him and pulled him back into the darkness, swallowing him completely. He vanished without a trace. Shock rippled through the group. The display of power crushed their confidence. Yet 13 merely turned back toward the tribe and said, "This way," before walking deeper into the mist. The man in gold hesitated, his arrogance faltering, but when he looked toward the celestial guardian dressed in black, he regained some of his composure. "Let's go," he growled. "I want to see what tricks this Wang Lin has up his sleeve." The group followed 13 into the passage. As they moved, the path closed silently behind them, sealing them inside. Soon, the black fog parted again, revealing a vast tribe. Hundreds of figures filled the area, every one of them exuding cold hostility. Their collective gaze made the intruders feel as though the air itself had turned to lead. At the tribe's center stood a towering structure, a black tower radiating immense spiritual pressure. 13 stopped before it and bowed slightly. "Ancestor, I have brought the guests." Then a calm voice echoed across the tribe. It was Wang Lin. Fellow cultivators came filled with killing intent. "Could it be that I have offended you all?" Though his tone was mild, his words carried a strange resonance, a subtle, devilish undertone. The sound flowed like waves through the air, seeping into the hearts of the Cultivation Union members. All except the celestial guardian in black felt their minds tremble as confusion clouded their thoughts. The man in gold's pupils lost focus. His voice came out sluggishly. "You didn't offend?" Wang Lin's voice turned cold. "If that is the case, then you are far too presumptuous to come here seeking trouble." At that moment, every member of the soul refining tribe shouted in unison, "Impudent!" The combined roar merged with the wailing of the black cloud, producing a thunderous sound that struck like a storm against the hearts of the intruders. Their souls quaked violently. Several of the weaker cultivators coughed up blood as their organs trembled and their origin souls wavered. Even the man in gold staggered back, his face pale with fear. He shouted desperately, "Celestial Guardian, attack!" In response, the man in black, the Celestial Guardian, stepped forward. His eyes gleamed as he rose into the sky above the tower. With a single gesture, he formed a golden seal in the air and sent it crashing down like a mountain, aiming to crush the tower below. A cold snort echoed from within. Wang Lin's figure emerged, his face calm and unshaken. Without even glancing upward, he raised his hand, and a beam of black light extended from his palm. His voice was low and commanding. "Get down for me." The golden seal trembled, cracks spreading across its surface. Then, with a thunderous sound, it shattered into fragments. The celestial guardian's eyes widened in horror. A force beyond comprehension seized him, an invisible power that pulled at his very life essence. Before he could react, his body was yanked downward with unstoppable strength. He crashed into the earth below with a deafening boom, leaving a crater in the ground. When the celestial guardian in black crashed to the ground, Wang Lin's eyes flashed with cold light. He lifted his hand, and in an instant, countless restriction seals poured out, weaving across the air like streams of light. They sank into the fallen man's body, sealing all of his meridians and locking his origin soul in place. Wang Lin narrowed his eyes. With just a glance, he could tell that something was abnormal. This man, despite appearing to be an ascendant cultivator, had no origin energy within his soul. Instead, nestled at the center of his being was a tiny piece of jade. No larger than a fingernail. It pulsed faintly, releasing a strange and foreign energy. So that's it, Wang Lin thought calmly. His cultivation isn't real, it's borrowed. This man is nothing but a puppet dressed in celestial robes. He extended his right hand again, the faint gust from the finger of death brushing across the man's body. Around him, the remaining cultivators of the Cultivation Union stared in disbelief. What they were seeing shattered everything they knew about strength and cultivation. The golden-robed commander trembled uncontrollably, his face drained of color, and his confidence collapsed. If not for the sealed black cloud cutting off their escape, he would have fled without hesitation. "Say, Senior," he stammered, forcing a smile that couldn't hide his terror. "This is all a misunderstanding. We were only ordered to invite you to join the Cultivation Union." Before he could finish, Sun Yunshan suddenly stepped away from the group, his voice trembling with rage and relief. "Brother Wang, don't believe him. They came to capture you alive." Wang Lin's gaze flicked toward Sun Yunshan. He had noticed him the moment the group arrived. With a slight nod, he silently acknowledged the man's words. The golden-robed cultivator's expression twisted with fury. "Sun Yunshan, how dare you betray the ancestor?" But his words barely left his lips before Wang Lin lifted a single finger. A soft wind swept past. The man's body exploded like fragile glass, scattering into a mist of blood. His origin soul barely emerged before being instantly devoured by the black cloud hovering above. The silence that followed was deafening. Every cultivator felt their hearts turn to ice. The black cloud rolled slowly, as if it had tasted fresh blood. A single thought crossed their minds. Wang Lin's cultivation, it must be at the late ascendant stage. Without glancing at them, Wang Lin turned toward Sun Yunshan, his expression calm but distant. "Brother Sun," he said quietly, "it has been a long time." Sun Yunshan let out a heavy breath, his shoulders trembling. "Brother Wang, please, save me." "Come inside," Wang Lin replied simply. "We'll talk there." He dragged the unconscious celestial guardian behind him and entered the tall black tower. Sun Yunshan hesitated for only a moment before following. His thoughts were a storm of disbelief. Years ago, Wang Lin had only been at the mid-soul transformation stage. Now, he possessed power beyond comprehension. Inside the tower, Wang Lin sat cross-legged, calm as still water. He drew out a simple wooden table, placed a jar of fine wine upon it, and filled 2 cups. "Brother Sun," he said with a faint smile. "Sit." Sun Yunshan stiffly obeyed, sitting across from him. "Brother Wang, since you're here," Wang Lin interrupted gently, "speak freely." Sun Yunshan hesitated, then lifted the cup, draining it in one swallow. His voice was hoarse when he began. "Brother Wang, that man you captured, he has no name. We call him a celestial guardian. He and I both serve under the same organization, the Cultivation Union." Wang Lin's eyes flickered with faint interest. "Celestial guardian," he murmured. Sun Yunshan nodded, taking another gulp of wine. "The Cultivation Union is led by a man who calls himself the Celestial Realm Ancestor. His cultivation is terrifying. He commands 10 celestial guardians like this one. It was him who ordered our mission to capture you. Your battle in ancient Demon City caught his attention. He said you were a threat and a potential resource. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Memories of that battle flickered in his mind, the ambush, the desperate resistance, the explosion of a mad cultivator who had self-destructed to avoid capture. He had thought it was the work of a rival demon general. Now, it seemed the truth ran deeper. Sun Yunshan's voice trembled as he continued. The ancestor's power, it isn't something mortal. He plants something in our bodies, a celestial seed. It controls our lives. My 4 martial uncles were turned into puppets. I tried to escape, but he caught me. Since then, I've been nothing but his slave. Wang Lin's gaze hardened. Golden light flickered in his pupils as he looked directly into Sun Yunshan's body. For a brief instant, Sun Yunshan felt as though his entire soul was being peeled open. Every secret, every thought, every scar of memory was laid bare. Then the feeling vanished, leaving him drenched in cold sweat. Without a word, Wang Lin extended his finger and tapped Sun Yunshan's forehead. Thin green lines appeared, glowing faintly beneath his skin. They spread rapidly, covering his entire body in a web of writhing symbols. Wang Lin's eyes grew serious. He studied the marks, then closed his eyes to think. After a long moment, he spoke. This restriction, the ancestor calls it a celestial seed? Yes, Sun Yunshan whispered. He claimed it was something taken from the celestial realm before it collapsed. He said that no one but him could remove it. Wang Lin's gaze drifted toward the unconscious celestial guardian. His mind turned sharply. A celestial seed, celestial guardian, and a man who calls himself a celestial realm ancestor. Could it be connected to Celestial Emperor Qinling? He stretched his hand, pulling the celestial guardian through the air. His fingers pressed against the man's head as he activated a soul search spell. Normally, performing a soul search on an ascendant cultivator would be suicide, but Wang Lin knew this man's cultivation was false. Sustained only by the jade embedded within his soul, his true strength was far weaker. Images flashed through Wang Lin's mind, memories of orders, of the ancestor's voice, of lifeless obedience. The guardian's past before receiving the jade was nothing but emptiness, as if his original self had been erased. Wang Lin withdrew his hand, his expression grim. Then he unleashed a tongue of origin flame, burning the man's soul to ashes. The jade fragment floated free, glowing faintly in the air. It was small and unassuming, but when Wang Lin examined it closely, he felt a depth of celestial spiritual energy sealed within, so vast. It seemed endless, yet the energy could not be absorbed. Something inside resisted, a will, an intent. The jade carries celestial energy and intent. Wang Lin mused silently. When fused with a mortal soul, it creates the illusion of ascension. But the process must be unstable, otherwise, that so-called ancestor would have more than 10 guardians. He stared at the fragment, his thoughts sharp and precise, unraveling mysteries that had taken others' lifetimes to grasp. Finally, his cold gaze turned toward Sun Yunshan once more. His voice was calm, yet carried the weight of authority that brooked no refusal. Where, he asked, is the cultivation union? In this episode, we see Wang Lin's strength and intelligence reach a whole new level as he confronts powerful enemies and uncovers shocking truths hidden within the cultivation union. From effortlessly subduing the celestial guardian to exposing the man in gold's deceit, Wang Lin displayed the calm confidence of someone who has long surpassed ordinary cultivators. His every move was decisive, his every word filled with quiet authority. When Sun Yunshan appeared, the story took a darker turn. Through him, Wang Lin learned of the mysterious figure known as the Celestial Realm Ancestor, a being who claims to possess relics from the long-fallen celestial realm and commands terrifying power through something called the Celestial Seed. The revelation of the jade fragment containing immense celestial spiritual energy and a hidden intent hinted at a deeper mystery, one that connects the mortal world with the remnants of the heavens themselves. As Wang Lin delved into these secrets, his sharp mind quickly unraveled the truth behind the celestial guardians, deducing their artificial nature and the dark experiments that created them. His path now points toward the heart of the cultivation union. where answers and greater dangers await. With each step, Wang Lin stands closer to the truth, his aura growing ever more profound and unstoppable. If you enjoyed this episode or found it fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the newest episodes of Renegade Immortal.